Good afternoon, YouTube. So, didn't put up a video last night, so I unloaded, I came back to work and I unloaded there at where did I unload at? Oh, shoot. Nebraska City, Nebraska. I had to think there for a minute. And then they sent this load immediately afterwards. It was loading at Crete, Nebraska, and so I hurried over there, and I was supposed to be there before 3 p.m. So I got there about 2:20 or something like that p.m. Central Time. And they said, well, drop your trailer and then back up to this trailer that's already parked in a door, and it wasn't ready yet. So that's what I did, and I sat there, 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 and finally went to bed. And so about 3:30 they finally got it done, 3:30 a.m. this morning. Today's Tuesday. So they got it loaded finally at 3:30 a.m. And then it took them an hour and a half to load the, to give me the paperwork, to come up with the paperwork. And so I got out of there at 5 a.m. So, and the load has two drops. First drop's in Vernon, California, which is right next to Los Angeles, it looks like. And then the second drop unloads at about 60 miles away over in San Bernardino. The first drop is supposed to be there Thursday morning at 5:30 a.m. Pacific time. Well, that, because of the timing, that was kind of iffy if I could make it. And so, of course, the thing I thought that, was kind of throwing a real monkey wrench into it was I-70 here in Colorado, where I'm at right now. I'm stopped in a rest area, and I'm taking my break here. So I've recalculated it, and I've decided that there's it's too tight. I probably can't make that first appointment, and even if I did, then I'd have a hard time making the second one, because it's Thursday afternoon, I think at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 or 1:30, and by the time I did that, I'd be out of time. And it said the directions I have say that there's no parking at the second drop. Don't want you there. They just want you there long enough to unload and then get out of there. So I just sent him a message and told him I'd talked to the fleet manager earlier and warned her that it was kind of iffy if I was going to be able to make those appointments when she asked me this morning. So sent him a message and let them see if they can sort it out a little bit better. And so here is the view. I guess it would be sort of looking to the south. Not exactly sure my directions right here. Looking kind of to the south of the interstate, I guess, if that is south. There's a lake over there you can probably make out, and then there's lots and lots of noisy traffic kind of going by. But it's feels fairly warm, although because the sun is out. But it's interesting, when I was moving the truck thermometer, which is pretty accurate, said that it was 50 degrees. Or I'm sorry, 58 degrees. And then earlier it was raining when I left Denver, and it was back where it was raining, it said it was 55. So it says it's 58 right here, but it feels a whole lot warmer than 58. So this is the little plaque that they have right here. I don't know, that's probably maybe having a hard time showing up in the image there, maybe because of the sun shining on the plaque. It's a little difficult to make out, maybe, but so in any case, you can kind of see that there's a lot of graffiti on the plaque. People have kind of scratched things into it, I guess, as people are wont to do, and but anyway, that's the little plaque right there. So I'm back in the truck now. They sent a message back, the night dispatch did, saying that they would make a note of it, you know, try to get the appointment on the first one changed to 8 a.m. And then if they had to, they could either change the other appointment to the next day or get somebody to relay it. There might be another driver possibly there that would have time, that could come and swap trailers with me, and so that would be ideal. But the problem with that second drop is that there's no parking around there, and I would be, by the time the load got unloaded, if I was able to make it on time, by the time the load got unloaded, I'd be out of time, and there'd be no place to park, and so I'd be kind of up a creek without a paddle. So they'll get it straightened out, and there's no point in getting upset about this stuff. I know a lot of people, they say that they're not going to get upset or whatever, but they do anyway, and I don't even, I don't even get frustrated. I know that may be hard for people to believe, but it's just it either works or it doesn't, and everything's tracked, and so as long as I do my job, everything's completely tracked, and so they know exactly where if there's a problem, they know precisely where it is. So that's one of the things about monitoring everything. It kind of eliminates all of the little fudge factors for people, and so the real problem, ends up being that for whatever reason, and I never asked them, but for whatever reason, I don't think they had the product as slow as they were about loading that, because there were other trucks that were coming and going at the same time I was just sitting there, and I sat there for, 13 hours at least. And so every once in a while I'd hear them put something in the truck, so I think that probably stuff was being manufactured because there was this plant across the street, and then they'd just bring some over and then put more on, and then they'd bring a little more over and put more on, and so that's where so it's all tracked. So I don't even believe it or not, I don't even get frustrated or anything. It's just a matter of calculation, and it either works or it doesn't. So, and communication, that's the other part, is to communicate to people and tell them what's going on, and once it's communicated, then everything has to be reasonable. There's no way around that. As long as I remain perfectly reasonable and communicate what's going on, then there is no alternative but for everything else to be reasonable. So, and that's where a lot of people get into trouble. So I was having a little Voxer conversation earlier, and I said something that I've never quite said in this way, but it was, kind of talking about politics. And, I've said many times in the past, politics arises out of our failings as human beings. You know, in other words, we want to play God in our own minds as human beings, and that's where we end up going off the rails. And so politics arises out of that. Politics, but you know what I ended up saying, and I've never quite said it this way before that I can ever remember. Politics exists. What is politics? You think, well, what is it? Because it's sort of a nebulous term, but what it really is at its essence is it's a sort of a group way, whether it's the right or the left. It's sort of a group way of feeling, you know, sort of right about wrong. You know, feel you know, make wrong into right and right into wrong. And of course the left does it, but the right does it too. The right does it too. You know, but it's, you know, this political thing, it's a polarity type of thing, and it's sort of like male and female, mama and daddy type of thing. That's, you know, so it's really, it's just it's an evolution of the you know, sort of a devolution of the dysfunctional family, you know, of warring, you know, war between the sexes. Basically, it's an extension of war between the sexes. You know, nurturing mama that wants to, you know, go overboard on nurturing, and, you know, and then the dad that loses his power through sex and food. So how do you like that? You know, I really believe most men get married, they think they're going to have a built-in sex and food factory. Maybe you do, but you're going to pay the price. So, but politics, you know, in an ideal world, and I'm not, you know, and I have no illusions, this world is not ideal, but in an ideal world, there would be no politics. You know, you just have right and wrong, and people would be self-governing. But of course, once you throw people out of control, and you try to force people, you throw them out of control, you try to force them to sort of accept your perversion, is one way of putting it. You know, sort of force people to force everybody to believe that, and to say that, for example, that abortion is okay. It's okay to kill your baby. It's okay to have sex out of wedlock. It's okay to shack up, so on and so forth. It's really okay. Not a problem. Everybody else is doing it, so therefore it makes it okay. And, you know, you end up with that perversion, and it ends up causing everything to be topsy-turvy as far as right and wrong. Because once all it takes is one little thing, one little misstep, believing that, you know, something is right when it's really wrong, and before you know it, everything's backwards. You can't have just a little bit of sin. You can't have just a little bit of, for example, you can't say, well, I'm a moral person, except I want to live with, you know, I want to shack up. Or I'm a moral person, but I want to have all the sex that I want, whenever I want, with whomever I want, regardless of whether I'm married or not, so on and so forth. You can't do that. And you know, because once you step across that line, you're in a you're sort of in a little fantasy world in your own head as far as moral. You got faux morality, is another way of putting it. You got fake morality, fake leather, faux morality. It's not real. And and as a result, you're suggestible, because you have to have you find your slimy friends that help you think that right is wrong and wrong is right, help you to continue to believe that, and you end up with a mess. And that's what's happened to us. And you know, so but politics is, you know, I've completely, you know, I've washed my hands of it. Don't care to hear about it anymore. It's there is no political solution. You cannot, it's not possible to solve things politically, because it's really moral problems, and moral problems cannot be solved by politics. It cannot be. And so politics is basically there to sort of, if you're really into it, it's sort of there to make you feel, that your wrong is right. Wrong is right, right is wrong. And ultimately you end up with a disintegrating Roman Empire. And we're living in that right now. Good luck. You're going to need it. Hope all the sex was worth it. Hope all the, killing the babies and so on and so forth. Hope that was worth it. Because, now we're bringing Ebola. This Ebola, 50 to 90% of people that get it die. We'll just bring that into the country. It's never been here before. Let's bring it in. No, CDC says it's fine. No, don't worry. Go back to watching Dancing with the Stars. It's fine. Go back to sleep. Don't pay any attention. We the CDC, we've got these boxes of anthrax in our basement that we've lost for years and years that we just found. But never mind that. We can handle the Ebola, even though the guys that these doctors that were in Africa were all suited up, and they were taking all the precautions, and and they were in their hazmat space suits, and they still got it. Never mind, it'll be fine. So I don't know. I saw a headline earlier today. Well, why couldn't a terrorist could make a dirty bomb? You want to make a dirty bomb out of radiation? Why not make a dirty bomb out of Ebola? What's stopping you? What's stopping them? Nothing. We've lost our minds as a nation. And the reason is because we're living in a virtual reality, fake, false, moral construct that is backwards, completely backwards. So anyway, on that wonderful note, from wherever I'm at, a rest area it's really more, it doesn't really have any facilities, it's just it's a sort of a view area, more or less, a scenic pull-out from, I don't know where I'm at, probably somewhere near Frisco, Colorado. I'll catch you later.